IIST Reporting Services is here in Paris for the UN Climate Talks, reporting on selected side events. On Tuesday, the 8th of December, the Global Carbon Capture and Storage Institute brought together a panel to discuss the financing of the demonstration and deployment of CCS in developing countries. Participants framed discussions by underscoring the value of the co-benefits of CCS as a means to address the ongoing use of fossil fuels.
Around the world, the many thousands of people a day are dying as a result of air pollution. Perhaps 4,000 a day in China, perhaps 6,000 or more in India. This is a very big issue. So finding ways to put those two things together, carbon capture and storage and the capture of those toxic particles, would be very important, and it is possible. Not a political statement, it's simply the arithmetic and where we are now and where we're headed to in the next 10 or 15 years.
We project that fossil fuel production will continue to remain an important part of the landscape, and in that regard, carbon capture and storage is potentially the most effective way of reducing emissions out of the electricity sector, aside from shifting to renewables.
So carbon capture and storage is technology that captures the carbon dioxide from power stations and industrial processes. It compresses it so that it's a liquid, and it puts it back underground where oil and gas has come from. It's a great option for reducing CO2 emissions in the atmosphere. Our latest status report shows that we've got about 45 large-scale CCS projects currently in various stages of development or operation around the world, and together they can capture about 80 million tonnes of CO2 and store it permanently.
Panelists explained why the CCS technology is appropriate for developing countries.
Given in fact that we project significant increases in energy demand taking place outside of OECD countries, in emerging economies and developing countries, as they improve their standards of living and they grow, there's going to be a real need to be able to deploy carbon capture and storage in those countries.
We think that this is something where the developing countries will have to really be able to deploy CCS to address the carbon dioxide and other emissions from coal and oil plants.
It really takes commitment on the part of the countries that where we want to see CCS adopted.
In this administration, we had the fortune to had a very good president with the vision of doing an energy reform, and he did it. CCS now is an important actor in the energy reform.
I think CCS is seen as a technology of last resort by developing countries, which are prioritizing energy efficiency and renewable investment. In China, which is the global leader in wind power and solar, last year, 35 gigawatt of new coal-based capacity come in. So we really need to see that CCS has to come in play in these countries. A CCS demonstration and deployment roadmap for China, which was launched on 1st December here by ADB President and Chinese Minister and the Chief Negotiator. There is a level of readiness in China to launch a large demonstration project, and more than one, and we expect this project to be constructed and ready in operation by 2020.
Discussions explored pathways for successful deployment.
The price of carbon, which is $50 or $60 or $70 a tonne CO2 now, it could break even. I hope in the future that the costs will come down and the price of carbon will go up so that it can make an economic profit.
There shouldn't really be an issue in terms of sourcing the capital. It's really about making the investment opportunities actually investable. So I think what we need to see there is we need to see public finance stepping up to say, here are some ways that we can help to de-risk.
Hope was expressed that the Paris outcomes would further establish momentum for a low-carbon society.
That clear, strong signal will mean that all the technologies which are consistent with that will get a boost, including carbon capture and storage.
One of the clear ways forward is that we need to reduce GHG emissions dramatically to be able to reach the 2 degrees. So even where we are today, we are not there yet. So what could be the game changers that can really bring about that kind of significant reduction of GHG emissions and I think CCS is one of that.